Okay, hello. I am back and I am here to continue the video process. So, I want to cut these up based off of the clips that I've had off of my own personal runs. So, what I'll do is instead of taking each individual clip or session of me playing, which could go anywhere from 20 minutes to 6 hours, I will just cut them up piece by piece into big jumps and post those as videos. So you might find some videos that might be 2 minutes and some that might be a little bit longer. I can't remember exactly where I left off, but I saw a clip and I was thinking, okay, well, this clip must be old. So this was the Herald Autobomber that I was working on. As you can see, I am in the Solaris Temple, I think before the Cruel side. I was boasting about how great the build felt using Spark and hopping into Ball Lightning and getting that divine ire of holy something. Um, and I'm just gonna fast forward this because after I posted my video or a few of my videos, I started getting recommended Herald Auto Bomber progression videos, which I thought was really cool. But I've changed up my build a lot. I've changed everything up actually this league. A lot has changed, and I want to talk about it. So let me try to get some of these recordings pushed out. Okay, so I skipped around. This might be the same recording clip from the other video, but here I actually am using Ball Lightning. So to give a breakdown of everything that's overall just been happening for me up until this point, kind of pushing into this point, it has been I wasn't focused on what graphs could be benefiting my build. This was story mode. I had no idea what was going on. This is the first week of the league or so, I want to say. So whatever graphs were coming, I was just picking up and using. I think at this point, I was collecting heavy belts to try to chance for a mage blood, if at all possible. You don't get a mage blood until the level 75 tier or whatever, though. So the chances of me chancing it and actually getting it were literally non-existent. But still, I think I was saving them for when I did hit that level. As you can see, my gear setup's pretty simple. I've got a little bit of energy shield, which means probably a lot more life than just a little bit of energy shield. I'm running, I believe that is elemental weakness, ball lightning, orb of storms. I have shield charge and frost blink, and I have Herald of Ash, Herald of Thunder, Herald of Frost, and I believe Clarity. If that is Clarity, it's because I wanted to load my mana up as fast as possible. It just felt like I was having a mana problem for several characters this league, and so Clarity kind of just became something that I hung on to. I was following somebody's build originally, but it wasn't really a build. It was more so a slight guide that they had posted on YouTube, and I started making little changes based off of what I thought would be more beneficial for my overall build. So obviously, the Frostblink Shield Charge Dash is to get from point A to point B quicker. Elemental Weakness is for big groups of enemies or much tankier enemies like bosses. Ball Lightning and or Arc. Is strictly for clear. And then the Transfigure Gem, which I don't have here, so this is before the other recording. Wow, right? I'm organizing all these. I'm going to start cutting them down today so I don't get these all confused. But yeah, the Orb of Storms is to kind of help with the single target damage or large groups of enemies. Anybody that comes through gets hit with the ball lightning or arc, and then sometimes the shield charge will proc. I feel like it turns on some of my heralds at times, which usually feels good as well. um, and that's just been my setup. That's been my setup for, I want to say, at least 30, if not more, levels. I was using strictly Arc with this setup. I added the Heralds over time. Ball Lightning became my main skill, other than this Divine Eye or something that I got from the Transfigured. And when I did get it, the Divine Iron Transfigured was what I would use for taking on single target damage. It would help just clear bosses way quicker, and I was super excited about it at the time. Okay, so That's everything, right? I feel like I've covered everything. Let me check. Okay, so now that I'm caught up, yes, I believe this is all from that last clip and it never got deleted. So I just wanted to make sure, as you can see, I have a ton of skills that need to be updated. I think at one point I ended up getting an Astramantis in order to keep up with the Heralds. But to be fair, I think League Start Astramantis prices were like the same as they would have been in Path of Exile 2, like worth several divine, and I had not even seen a divine yet, obviously. So this was just the strict leveling setup where I'm pushing through everything, and it feels actually really nice to be doing so. Everything clears pretty quickly. The only kind of clunky things I would say were the extra heralds. Looking back on it, I probably would have dropped the Herald of Ash and maybe the Ice Herald. I don't see a lot of people use Herald of Ash on builds. I thought originally this was going to be a Herald stacking Autobomber, but it was not. It was only Herald of Thunder, and I was just bad at reading. I was having fun nonetheless, and at a certain point through campaign, I believe, I realized that it was just strictly Thunder, and that's when I started getting rid of the other Heralds. But that's one of the reasons I'm sure my clarity was needed, was because these extra Heralds were just in a way, right? I should have been focusing strictly on lightning, but I was also mixing other damage at the time as well. It is what it is. Either way, I was still having fun. As you can see, my flash setup is 1 life, 1 mana, 3 quick silvers, just so I can get through campaign quicker. The mana was originally when I didn't have any clarity. Now I don't really need the mana, but it's still there, and the life is obviously something that I am using heavy. But yeah, you can see the playthrough, the idea that I was going with. Orbs of Storm, keep things in that tight AoE, hit them with the elemental weakness to make the killing quicker, and use ball lightning to just burst them down. But because this transfigured, it did make overall just like running through the game significantly smoother. And as you can see, now I will admit sometimes taking away the health of enemies didn't feel as great as what I thought it could have been. But the skill overall felt like I was getting damage reduction and just dealing DOT. But I don't know. I don't personally know. But I'll stop this here and jump to the next part of this long, ridiculous journey.